everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz, and in today's video I have some super cute spring DIYs for you. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. For this DIY, I am going to use these wood slices that I got off Amazon. I'll have them linked in the description box below, but I'm going to grab some of my Waverly chalk paint and plaster, and I am just going to paint each of those wood slices this color. I made sure to go around those edges because I didn't want to cover up those wood barky areas, if that makes sense. So once I get all 6 of those painted, I'm going to take these rub-on transfers that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and I just cut up the entire page of these rub-on transfers into the individual little greeneries, and I'm just placing them all onto these wood slices. There really wasn't a rhyme or a reason. I just kind of placed it randomly on all of them, and I just rubbed them right on and then took that clear sheet off. Now I'm going to take these stickers that I got from Hobby Lobby. These are more of a chipboard kind of sticker, so they are a lot thicker than your just normal paper kind of sticker. And I am going to place them onto my wood slices to spell out the word spring. I thought this was so cute, and I loved the buffalo check of these stickers, so I thought this was absolutely adorable. And just as an FYI, these don't stick super well to the paint, so with some of them I did have to go back in with some super glue just to make sure that those letters all stayed on there. And then I also ended up drilling a second hole in these wood slices, hole drilled in it already, but with the way I wanted to hang these, I wanted there to be 2 holes so that my wood slices would face forward. Now I'm just gonna grab some wood beads that I also got from Amazon and some twine, and I'm just going to start making myself a cute little garland out of this. I'm gonna do a bead and then a wood slice, a bead, and then a wood slice. You can see what I'm doing here. It's pretty easy and pretty self-explanatory. Once I have all of those stringed onto my twine, I'm gonna tie a couple knots on both ends to keep everything in place, and then I will hang it on my little fence that I made a long time ago before I even started filming videos. I followed a tutorial from Jennifer from A Little Bit of Calm and Crazy. I'll link her video in the description box below because I always get so many questions about my fence. It is such a fun DIY, so I'll link it down for you so you can check that video out.
I was at the wrong place at the right time, 'cause suddenly there you were with those bright blue eyes. We were conversing under the night sky when you took my hand, said let's leave now. Don't wanna be shy, I will let my guard down. Don't wanna be shy,
If you guys are new here, hey, my name's Liz, and I love everything DIY and crafting. If that's something that you enjoy as well, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and becoming a part of my little crafting family. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook, where you can see other projects that I'm working on, get a sneak peek into my personal life and behind the scenes, and then you can also shop my decals through my Facebook shop. For this DIY, you're going to grab one of these small wreaths that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I believe they come in a pack of 2, and I'm gonna grab this ticking fabric that I got from burlapfabric.com. You can use whatever kind of fabric that you want. Now I will say this is definitely a movie kind of DIY where you want to sit down, turn a good movie on, put a good audiobook on, something that you can have to entertain yourself while you're doing this, because this took me at least an hour, I want to say. All I did was cut out strips. I really didn't do any kind of measuring. I just took one strip that I felt like was a good size and based it off of that. I cut out a ton of strips and started just doing a simple tie to each individual ring. And I did tie them on all 3 sections that you can see there, the 3 different rings. And then after I was done tying them, I did go back through and trim some of them up. I wanted to make sure that they were all one length and try to make it look as even as I possibly could. I think this is so much fun. I love the texture of it and I love the fabric. I love this ticking fabric. It is absolutely my favorite. I have a pillow made out of it that I did in a separate DIYs. So this is definitely one that I'm absolutely loving. Now, after I've done that, I'm going to take this canvas that I got from Ross at least 4 years ago, and I'm going to cut off the canvas from the frame. I don't use this anymore. It's been sitting in my closet for a long time, and it was just going to go in the trash, and I thought, why not just reuse it? So I'm going to remove that canvas and get all of the excess canvas removed from the back of the frame. But you can use whatever kind of frame that you want. It doesn't have to be a canvas frame. You could go to Hobby Lobby and just pick out one of their frames from there that you can get for pretty cheap, or even at a thrift store. And I'm just going to start by taking my Craftsmart stain in the color brown, and I'm just using this just like a stain, painting it on and then wiping it off with a paper towel. And I just painted the entire frame in this color. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in white and a chip brush, and I am going to heavily distress this frame. I wanted this to look like it used to be painted white and some of that old brown color was coming through, so I just wanted a very heavily distressed and rustic looking frame for this project. And I'm going to do that on the entire frame, so the inside, the sides. Now I'm going to take some burlap ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to loop it through the wreath and then fold it over the top of the frame. I'm also going to take this ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. I thought this was so cute. I love that soft pink color that it has to it, and it's the shape of a vine with leaves. I just think it's absolutely adorable, and I think it leaves a really pretty pop of that pink for spring. That's something that I'm absolutely loving for the springtime, just that really soft pink color. And then I just take my staple gun, staple it back to the frame, and that is it for this DIY.
Talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. I wanna love out loud. Talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. Love a little louder. Love a little louder. We went to a small bar with neon lights. Talked about everything that was on.
For this project, you're going to grab one of these little houses that you can pick up from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take some of this scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. I picked out this really pretty distressed wood piece, and I'm going to go ahead and use a glue stick and glue that right to the back of that little house. And it worked out perfectly because it was basically the same size of the house. I just had to do the angles of the roof. I just had to cut those parts off, and everything else was basically good to go. So I took those rub-on transfers that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and I cut out the wreath in the middle. And then I'm also going to take these poster stickers that you can also get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use an H, an M, and an E, and I'm going to place that on my house. And then I'm going to take that wreath and I'm going to put that on the house, rub that down, rub the stickers down so they're all stuck on there. Now I'm going to take this ribbon that you can get from Hobby Lobby. I just tied a simple bow with it. I'm going to add some hot glue, glue it right to the top of the house. I'm going to cut off the excess ribbon from the sides, and that is it for this adorable home sign.
Talking to you gave me butterflies. Then you took my hand, said let's leave now. shy. I will let my guard down. Don't wanna be shy.
Now this project is going to be a little different because this is actually something that my husband made for me, and I'm so excited to show it in this video. We recently got a laser machine and he has it all up and running, so now he can cut me out my own little projects. And what I'm really excited about is that we are going to start selling our laser cutouts on my Facebook shop page. So if you are interested in those, definitely keep an eye out for them in the future. We are going to be coming out with some really adorable projects. So I wanted to show you some of the possibilities that we can do with this laser machine. I had him cut me out this little flower box, and I'm starting out by staining it in my Craftsmart stain in brown. And I'm just going to go through and stain every single piece in this color, the front and the back. All of it will be stained. After I've stained it, I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in white and a chip brush, and I'm just going to heavily distress every single piece of my little box, even the part that is engraved with the words. It's all going to be dry brushed in this white color. Once I get that all painted and everything is dry, I'm gonna take some super glue. I'm gonna run it along the very edge of the bottom piece, and I'm gonna take one of my side pieces and set that right on top. I waited probably about 15 seconds until it was mostly dry, and then I added some super glue to the inside to reinforce those two pieces, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Now I'm going to take my side pieces and run that super glue along both sides and the bottom, and I'm just going to attach those together to the two side pieces, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I completely messed up and had the dry brushed side on the bottom face up instead of on the bottom where it should have been, but it's not a big deal. It's on the bottom. You're not ever going to see it. Now I'm going to take a wooden dowel that I had, and I'm going to cut that down, and I'm going to insert it into the two holes on those two end pieces to make myself a little handle. And I just did that by twisting it into those two side pieces. I wasn't sure if I wanted to leave it like this with the sides a little bit too long. I was thinking about wrapping some twine around them. I just couldn't decide, and I finally just decided to have my husband take it out to the garage. He used a hacksaw and just cut off those excess pieces so that it was just flush with those side pieces. And then after I've done that, I'm going to take some floral foam. I just stick it right in the bottom, and I didn't hot glue these down just because I wanted the choice of being able to make something different out of this if I wanted it, or if I wanted to switch things out. But for now, I'm going to take these florals that I got from Michael's. I just cut them off all of the stems, just placing them where I feel like it looks good and trying to get it as full as possible. And that's it for this project. This is so much fun to do, and I'm so excited to finally be able to start creating or that I want, that is in my mind and I've envisioned, and now it can come to life. I cannot wait to share all of those projects with you guys. If you want to stay up to date on those, make sure you go to my Instagram page and follow it, because that is where I will post the majority of these laser project updates. Now for this DIY, I grabbed these two long candlesticks from Hobby Lobby. I know that you can get them from the Dollar Tree. I was just too lazy to go there, and I had already been to Hobby Lobby and picked up these ones. I decided to cut mine down, so I just started by breaking them, and then I used my little knife to cut the wick inside. And then I also took my lighter to the end of that candle where it was broken, just to kind of melt that wax down so it wasn't chipping away and flaking away where I had broken it. Now I am going to attempt to make these look like Birchwood. I saw Shannon from the Daily DIYer do this to one of her candles, and it turned out absolutely adorable. And I had that vision of a wood bundle in my mind, and I had to make it. I'll link her video down below where she made hers, and she just inspired me. So this is what I'm doing. I'm taking a fork and I am just dragging that along the candle. I wanted to make as much grooves and, imperfection into these candles as I could. I took my utility knife and I started digging holes into them to make them look like knots. I just kind of twist it around in a circle. I also use the knife to carve indents into it, make it so that it's not so perfectly round. You're basically just going to carve into it as much as you think like all the little imperfections that Birchwood would have. Now I'm going to take my folk art paint in Bark Brown, and I'm going to paint all 3 of my candles in this color. This isn't going to give a full coverage kind of coat. It's going to be pretty light, so I just go over it as best as I can and then wait for that to dry. Once that is all dry, I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in white and I'm going to heavily distress these. I want it to be mostly white with just a little bit of that brown peeking through. I think this is awesome because it does give a lot of that dimension. You get that white with those brown streaks through it, so I think that it looks really, really cool. So I'm just going to paint all 3 of my little logs in that color. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in ink, and I'm going to use that to go over all the little holes that I made for the knots in the wood. In Birchwood, there's always those little black lines and black indents all over the wood, so that's what I was trying to go for. I would paint it, and then I would take a paper towel and kind of smudge it around so it wasn't so harsh. And I just made sure to put that in all the little holes that I made and all the little indents, just to give it some more added detail and dimension, trying to make it look like Birchwood. I think in the end it turned out really well. I don't feel like you would even know that these were made from candles. And I think this is such a fun way to transform something. I have been loving Birchwood lately. I don't know what it is, but I loved it for Christmas, loved it for my winter decor, and now I'm loving it for spring. So let me know if you're obsessed with Birchwood as much as I am. So I'm just going to take some twine. I'm going to wrap it around all 3 of those candles, and I am just going to wrap it around a bunch of times, tie it in a double knot, and that is it for my bundle of Birchwood.
Talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. I wanna love out loud. Talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. Love a little louder. Love a little louder. We went to a small bar with neon lights. Talked about everything that was on our mind. Talking to you gave me butterflies. Then you took my hand, said let's leave now. Don't wanna be shy. I will let my guard down. Don't wanna be shy.
And that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite project was in the comments down below. And let me know if you guys want me to show you more of those laser projects in some of my videos, give you guys kind of an idea of what we can make. I would love to feature some of them in there because I think they are so much fun to do. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
Don't wanna be shy.